it's all right. Obviously, one of the dangers about playing against Sven as Oracle, Oracle likes to gauge the fight and then ulti at the right time. But when you're playing against really hard bursts, sometimes you barely even get to react, or if you're just a little bit out of position, the core that you're supposed to save is just already gone. So I think when you play against heroes like Sven or Storm Spirit, as Oracle, it can be a little bit dangerous just because of that massive amount of burst that can come out really quickly from nowhere.
On the other side, though, I think one of the most underrated things about Oracle is his disarm against these right-click heroes. Yeah. It's something that, like, generally, like, for the longest time, Heaven's Halberd didn't even have an effect, and people were just like, "Oh, why is my hero not doing anything?" But disarms are heavily underrated, and it started showing up more and more when people discovered that disarms last forever on ranged heroes. But Fate's Edict being placed on a Sven when he doesn't have BKB is very, very valuable.
A lot of the times we see Oracles, I think the most popular Oracle build I've seen in the last 6 months has been a 4-2-4 build, where you get 2 in the Fate's Edict just so that you can get double heals off during the immunity.
Yeah.
But I've generally been a big fan of, unless there's something really valuable to dispel consistently, so you want the lower cooldown on Fortune's End, I really like going 1-4-4, because you get way lower cooldown on Fate's Edict too, and it gets cast rate. And I think that is the thing against Sven that is super useful. If you have a low-level Fate's Edict, it's like 500 cast range, so if you go and disarm the Sven, you just expose yourself. You just die to something, like whatever it is. Oh, this is not a good sign for me. I don't like this Tiny pick. Not because I don't like Tiny. I think the hero is fun and good in the right circumstances, but it feels like, okay, we just lost to this hero, we're going to pick it. They have not shown it at all the whole tournament, I think. Anvorgesa have not picked this hero whatsoever, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, am I right?
I'm taking your word for it. You sound convinced.
And it's just, it's a little bit like, I love the idea that they're trying something different. I just don't know how confident I am in this exact approach, because it's, once again, it's getting a little bit far from what they've had.
Give it a few more heroes.
Yeah,
still first.
Of course.
Just a Tiny standing around.
I'm not a hater, but I'm concerned.
Can this be a tiny step in the direction of insanity? Could this be showing anything that is insane in their first phase?
Rich,
please.
Yeah,
please. Did you figure out what the email was?
Yeah. It's they were typing Boo Pogba.
I saw somebody typing Pogba as well.
Yeah.
Isn't that a football player?
No, it's Drogba.
I don't really do this.
Pogba?
I thought Drogba.
I think it's Pogba.
Maybe both. I don't pay attention to that sport. I pay attention to digital sports.
Speaking of paying attention to an esport, could you guys pay attention to the draft and stop looking at chat?
Can't help
That's
myself.
my job.
I'm jonesing for it.
So the Rubik doesn't have anything particularly good to steal right now. I mean, maybe you can steal Fate's Edict, or sorry, False Promise. There we go. Maybe you can steal False Promise, but it's not too reliable.
And it may have been discouraging Sand King pickup, seeing as though that was not banned out.
That is true.
Whisper's a big fan of the hero.
Yeah. But I don't really think the tiny spells are that good to steal. Avalanche could be okay. But the toss is very situationally useful on Rubik. And he doesn't really know what else he's facing. But now that there's a Magnus, it got a little bit more interesting. Now you can steal RP.
But steal and power, give it to your Sven. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that too. But it's a good point, though. EHOME could have picked the Sand King here as well. And they can still do that if they want to at this point for Faith Beyond. But, no.
Storm Spirit already. So what do they have banned out? They banned out the Ember, banned out the Batrider.
Okay, you know what could be happening right now? This could actually just be game 2 from the first series all over again. If their support duo is Oracle Magnus, they have this very defensive. They had Disruptor Mag the other time, and they just lost the lanes. Yes. They didn't have enough aggressive presence whatsoever.
I do recall that.
So if their laning goes poorly and this Tiny is the core, we could just see EHOME kind of run them over. So in a way, I hope they I hope they find a way to set the lanes so that even if the Magnus isn't too impactful, they need to find somewhere to buy time. Like, they need heroes now that can not get completely overrun by this EHOME draft. So what do you pick with this Magnus? You want somebody who uses Empower, but who can also fight early, because if you're just farming, I think you're going to lose control of the map relatively quickly, especially if EHOME pick a tower-taking hero. Jugger is a possibility. Troll could be okay.
Troll would be okay.
I like the Jugger against Warlock, theoretically. He can remove Fatal Bonds. He has the Healing Ward against the Fatal Bonds as well for his team.
But I don't like Jugger versus Storm Spirit very much.
It's not great.
And for what it's worth, I did think that Ferrari was going to be the biggest issue in the previous game, and his TA was not that big of a deal. And it may be possible that his Storm Spirit may not be the defining factor.
I think they're going to pick Wraith King.
Monkey King.
That's what I said, King.
I got you.
Yeah,
I
heard
the
it.
Sand King, the
So-
Wraith King.
They want this monkey to face Storm, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's a good lane matchup for the Monkey King. He uses Empower, and then they will last pick their carry. I feel like it's a step in the right direction just because this hero can come online relatively quickly and start fighting with even just an Echo Saber and have a presence in fights. The downside is there are two serious tree cutting abilities on the other side. There's the Storm Spirit that can zip through trees, and there's the Golem, which has this massive AoE impact. If you have any idea where the Monkey King is and you just drop the rock, his fight is over. He doesn't have enough defensive potential to stay alive unless Oracle is in perfect position. He's just going to get rocked and then storm jump and die.
And usually a Monkey King is jumping way further ahead of the fight.
Yes. So it's a little bit concerning once again.
I'd ban out the Troll, so I don't know. To me, the Juggernaut is pretty much the only option remaining.
There's just nothing that seems satisfying, right?
I mean, if you think you can go late, maybe go for like, I don't know, like Phantom Lancer or something, even though the hero's not very popular right now.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
But ban out Axe.
Well, that could be an indication of a PA with PA.
Okay.
But it's just, I just feel like they're going to get run over. They don't even have last pick. So EHOME have the possibility of putting the Storm Spirit in another lane than mid too. It is entirely possible to play Storm Spirit Warlock safely and just maintain the lane. He sustains you with the heal. You have a lot of armor. You just kill creeps.
I mean, where does Sun go then?
He could dual lane off lane with the Rubik, for example, while still being the carry, right?
see,
Or you
okay.
could put the lanes the other way around. You can put the Storm Warlock bottom.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
what I would be
These
for.
lanes from Anvorgesa are not strong
No.
right now, I think. And they're just going to be the Wraith King in the end. Okay. So,
What would have been the upside of something crazier like a PA mag?
it has a stronger payoff later in the game because PA with Magnus just reaches a point of critical mass where her damage is absurd.
Yeah.
But you are very susceptible for the first 25 minutes to losing map control, and you could just run out of tempo to even get there.
EHOME's lanes
This
are
is
so
a
good.
This is a nice tied game, I think. There are so many melee heroes to hit with Anchor Smash. And
Skeletons
you,
do
you
nothing
can't
to
put,
you.
You can't put Monkey against both Storm and Tide.
Yeah.
So you have to choose who you want
And
to
you can't
target.
put Wraith King versus Storm Spirit either.
No, I'm liking EHOME again. I feel like this again. It's gonna be similar to Game 2 of Anvorgesa from day one, and they're just not gonna really take off. It's still better than what they had in that game because I feel like they have more play potential, but I'm still worried that EHOME is just gonna outclass them in this game.
Is EHOME gonna cook this burger up nice and quick, Tsunami?
You know what I said in Game 1. 2-0 EHOME. Even though I love me some Burger Cats, EHOME are just the better team, I think.
Honestly, Anvorgesa has done nothing but make us all want to cheer for them, right? But especially coming out of this draft, it is starting to look very difficult. Let's see if they can navigate their way to a Game 3 or if they will no longer be inside of the minor.
Oh, Rich is sounding so serious. It all comes down to this, Kyle. One game, and it seems like EHOME have a very, very solid draft.
Indeed, they do. It's I think both sides actually. I like the
Really?
Mag Wraith King Monkey. It's a bit one-dimensional, but it will do damage, and you do get to a point where you'll probably start slaying everything.
How does the lanes work? Because that's what I'm thinking most about. Like you pick up a Monkey King, then the Tide comes up as the last one. Does he kind of get that win you're looking for in your lane? How do all the lanes really function?
Well, the thing about it is that if you go aggressive with the Tide, you get Gush, you can still crush a Monkey King. I think 1v1 against Storm, it's an even trade. Storm has very high armor, and it's tough for Monkey to harass him too heavily because you'll keep taking that overload damage, plus the Remnants. EHOME, they have the reach advantage. You've always got the Storm. You should have a team fight advantage too, because even if you get RP'd as the Tide, you're going to be able to cleanse yourself out of it, pop off the ultimate.
Hey, I just want to see the Burger Boys do well. Wait, when did Golems get a dagger? When did Golems get a little sword on their back?
I don't know,
Jeez,
dude.
yeah, can I? Yes, thank you. Look at that. He comes with. Oh, that's right. It's the Bear Courier. He looks like a golem from above, but it's the Bear Courier with the tiny little sword. That makes sense because he couldn't turn into a golem. They don't exist on the map yet, and he can't do that anyway.
You all right, Toby?
No, I'm not. Like I'm a little out of it, but don't worry. That's why I got you here.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be
And
here.
I just need a high-paced game.
Yeah,
the level of sarcasm. I just want a
think-
high-paced game that isn't just say we've taken a fight and we're pulled back. We're taking a fight, we've pulled back. We've taken a fight, we're pulled back.
It took the Romans long. The Romans raised Carthage faster than EHOME inevitably winning the game with Megas. And I think that it's got to be demoralizing in some ways for Anvorgesa because you lose a game and it just feels like you're trying. It's just like you're powerless, right? It'd be cool to see how they bounce back. 1 game away from elimination. Manager gave an interview saying that they had no real expectations coming into this tournament. They just wanted to play some Dotes, have some fun. So far, they've done that. Definitely surpassed my expectations.
They really have. The fact that they're even at this position is it's great. They were able to 2-1 win strike before. It's like,
Yep.
yeah, this
Look
is
at
nice. Look, they're ping.
Whoa.
Wait, what? Are they breaking? They're trying to break trees?
I think he was just frustrated. He was trying to get he was trying to cut through or something like that. And Jericho was like MIA. I have no idea.
Oh, he probably wanted Jericho to stand on top so he could, like, wait, no, the good thing is that
No clue.
need
No
another
clue.
okay, yeah, we'll just chalk this one up to question mark, just like those 9 marks. They have 3 players ready to fight up on top, and okay, they're even going to go against that. Wraith King's coming to the south. They already want to start a lane switch, and we'll see if EHOME will play the switcheroo.
They might.
In fact, they're already TPing now Jericho into mid to go against Ferrari.
I mean, he's just, it's tough. Whenever you TP first, we've seen this so many times. It never ends well.
Yeah. And maybe Faith Beyond's fine with this, because it's so many melees. Like, that's the crazy that you're running 4 melees
on
versus
racing already.
versus a Tide Hunter. And yeah, K1, they just run him down as much as they
Completely
can,
alone.
pick him up, throw him back, and Oracle was, because he TP'd towards the mid, there was no save. And maybe Stinger can get something in return as Faith Beyond's getting tossed around, but Anchor Smashes and all that damage is gone.
Problem is that it's a Tide Hunter, right? Like, you're supposed to be up here struggling. He's just going to salve in a moment, and there it is. Whereas you've lost your Wraith King already. He's got to do the walk of shame back bottom because he TP'd down, Toby. And
Oh boy.
already off to a real rough start in these side lanes. Mid lane,
Yeah, we're trying to listen to the Monty Python boys and always look on the bright side of life, but right now, this is not the place they wanted to be in. Stinger just chasing Zinq. Like, what's he got? He's got an Empower buff up, and he's just got enough mana for a toss.
Indeed, and
But there's
again,
no follow-up.
aggro into a Tide, Toby. It never ends well. That's the problem we have here. And you can trade, sure, but realistically, Tiny Mag, you're not going to find kills in this lane. Bottom, never end, already level 2 with boots up. Should be favored here, especially with the support of a Warlock.
At least I have that comfort hero in K1's Wraith King. Like, that's
True.
That's
Yeah, that's a good point.
that's a nice upside. There's a lot of save between Jericho as well as the Wraith King. You know, Wraith King's Reincarnation. You've got obviously your False Promise. These are things that might make it a little bit more difficult for EHOME to get the targets they want to when the initiation comes. Of course, the downside is you're basically running a support Tiny who cannot harass 4-3-0. So it's a lot more on Chris to stay really on top of Ferrari. As I should say his name, 430.
Either one works, as long as you don't say 4-3-0.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the only thing you can say.
Yeah. So what I've always said though, like in
No, it's not.
in Warcraft 3 Dota, I always called him 430.
Oh, so... All right.
It doesn't mean I was right back then or right now.
All right, well, never mind.
And
I'm
everyone
not getting into this.
And he's named after the car, and everyone says that 430. So, yeah,
Whatever.
that's it. I'm wrong. One day I'll change it.
That's the key. Trust me, I've gotten used to being wrong, Toby. You don't like it, but you know what? You've got to accept it. That's how it goes. And we will have a more passive laning phase. I feel top, there's just no action really possible unless Faith Beyond like dives tower. Mid will be a trade back and forth still.
Give me a
For
crack.
bottom.
There's enough damage to kill off
Yeah,
Innocence.
it's too much to say. It's a Warlock versus an Oracle in lane. Not much going to happen here except for a trade. Mid, though, this
Yep.
could be a play.
A smoke up. Maybe they can catch Ferrari if he comes a little bit too far out.
He's just... Problem is, Monkey King's too low. He needs to get the stacks up.
Yep. But if he comes close on Ferrari, Ferrari may engage before Tiny can do anything. So Chris needs to start attacking him right now. So the Avalanche, in fact, Ferrari realizes he stands his ground and he's waiting for the right target. No! Ferrari moved off to the side, which he doesn't get tossed back, and Chris's damage at least got the buff up. Now Zinq will arrive, a slapdown's available. Stinger, has he got enough to finish the job that they began on Ferrari? One more punch won't do it. He'll need an extra one up the hill and away. Ferrari, does he die in the trees? Jukes it down, but no Stinger. That's a very long reach for a Tiny, but he gets the kill.
And well played. He really needed that. I'm surprised that toss did not connect. That felt like a really easy one there, but
it's just that one creep that moved off as Ferrari backed up. Just changes who's closer.
I think he was scared that he was going to get his Monkey King killed if there was all of a sudden Storm on top of him.
It was good from Chris that he was able to pick up his stacks too. Like without that, he would never have been able to stay in a fight with Ferrari. You could see Ferrari knowing it. Like he remnanted and turned around and instantly attacked the monkeys. Like, stay away from me. You're not going to get your 4.
It was really good heads-up play by 430. Be interesting. He's got lane control now as well. That's the key for Storm against Monkey middle. Bottom, there's a bit of a chase for these bounty runes. 3-on-1.
Oh, they're going to take him as well. Nice double control, but even better from Xingqiu. With the telekinesis ground, they pick him up and throw him back.
Yeah, well done.
Oh.
Mid still the Tiny, trying to get aggressive here on 430.
Need the 4th hit, able to claim it.
Toss back.
Yep, able to pull him right back into Chris with the slap down, and Ferrari getting caught out once again by Stinger's movement. And this is definitely going to give Monkey a very good start.
Yep, really well done. And that's the hero that I think has to snowball if you're going to win this game is Anvorgesa. That mid-1 style where you're bouncing through the trees early on, making things happen. No one else is really able to rotate here. Sure, the Tiny could, but not going to be enough damage. You don't want to force your mag to get super aggro with the RPs early on.
They're engaging on Sven on bottom lane. They only got enough to really follow up until Stinger arrives through the northern side of the trees. They'll get the kill. There's no support that's really going to come to help him out here because Ferrari's doing the long walk from base back to lane, so he's actually going jungle and letting Rubik take the mid.
I think he actually should have done that before. After the first death, you got to get level 6 ASAP, and he recognizes that now. He's going to go for the bottom rune and Arcane, but well played, Stinger. He's going to swipe that just out from under his nose. Well
That's
done.
so many big stacks. Like, if Stinger's able to come up, he's got an Observer Ward, so we could watch this stack happening, but they're going for kills. They're hunting once again. There's your first control. Secondary from the Wraithfire Blast, but Stinger doesn't really have a combination. And they need to see that Ancient stack. If they see this, maybe there's a chance that Anvorgesa is able to actually control it. Yeah, he's singing all the stacks. Xingqiu's going to be here as well. And he'll drop his Observe Ward right in front of Innocence.
That's probably not going to stay around for very long.
No.
And 430 getting a lot of farm in the jungle. Will hit 6. And the warding centered around protecting this triple camp for the Dire side. I like the decision. You're not in a position as EHOME where you feel forced to do things. You just want to make sure that this Tiny can't wander freely through your woods annoying
You
your
mean like this?
Oh, nice zip.
Just in time to avoid the first Avalanche Pebble. But he's still looking at this stack, wondering what the hell can we do about this? They don't have an easy clearance until Magnus comes over with the big Empower buff up, but you can get a kill onto Innocence. That's one way you can do this, but you don't have the extra stun available. He's already used his combination. So K1 will arrive, but the Ravage from Faith Beyond connects over on 3 with a follow-up stun. They look before the level 6 Wraith King is up. He doesn't have Reincarnation. Avalanche to create some level of space, but Ferrari has rotated as well. Whisper has arrived himself, but the toss back actually throwing him closer towards Jericho, and with the TP up from the Warlock, now get the information. He drops down the Observer Ward as he's dying. It's like, hey, hopefully EHOME doesn't notice this. He's got a TP available, but they've got actually telekinesis in 2 seconds. If he actually TP straight away, he would have got out.
Nah, the Storm would have been able to zip forwards, but it would have possibly worked out. I think you want to just save your TP at this point. Accept death. You have 4 heroes chasing you. It's all good. If you look at the net worth, you're feeling it right as Anvorgesa, and this time they should have that farm advantage if they can deal with the EHOME Ancient stack. You're going to have Empower very high level quite soon, and then Wraith King and Monkey, you're going to farm like crazy.
Got a toss back. Yep, that's a long ball. Follow-up Wraith Fire Blast needed to come out instantly. Now they're in range of the Tier 1 tower, as well as Xingqiu is trying to help. Neverend survives. He gets back under the tower, but it's a good boundless strike just to hit hard into Neverend. The toss would have got the kill, but Chris gets the swipe in first.
And this is the power of the Monkey King with all these stuns. You just keep moving, bring that extra hero. The one downside, though, for Anvorgesa is, once again, they don't have that natural tower pusher. It's really just the Wraith King skeletons that can be relied upon for building damage. And look at this. 430 just walking forwards, finds an Oracle for free.
Yeah, Jericho kind of caught on the wrong side of the tracks. He put down deeper Observer Wards. Stick charges will keep him up a little bit longer, so Ferrari's going to burn a little bit more mana.
Does have a regen rune, however. You got to be careful. He's going to keep farming stacks. Look at the Ancients. Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's so many of them.
Misses the quad, but this is the power of Warlock Sven. Like, he's level 6. He can already look to start clearing these Ancients quite soon.
That Radiant Observer Ward is too far away to actually see the farm happening, but they're wanting to watch the Ancients more than anything else. And because they put it in such a random spot, both the Sentry Wards planted by EHOME did not find it.
Yep. Max Cleave now. He actually won't even go for the level 6, 7 is a bit ambitious, I will say.
Yeah.
And if
Maybe on the next God Strength in 70 seconds, he can go for it.
Yeah, you just need tomes. That's the big play for EHOME here. You want 6 on Warlock and Rubik. I expect Warlock will take it. Rubik will try and get a lane somewhere. And then you're able to get a bit more aggressive. A lot of nice stuns for Rubik to steal here. But,
this is still a nice start.
Yeah, you're feeling good.
From Anvorgesa. Like, they've managed to at least, again, have these lanes which you're like, maybe this doesn't actually work, but they get aggressive, they push for it, and Ravage, okay, they have enough damage to pick up. Cancelling the Skewer away, and that will be 2 of the bounty runes on bottom, going the way of EHOME.
Oh, Invis bottom.
Chris has already got it.
2 levels on the Storm. Now this is not bad. And the thing is, the big difference for me this game is that you don't have that easy win as the game continues for EHOME, where it's like, oh, well, Naga's out of control, this is over. You can't deal with the lanes. I actually think Anvorgesa, they will outscale if they can maintain this lead just because of the mag factor. It's so easy for them if they get a bit of map control to just eat through the jungle and still maintain a measure of aggression in the enemy woods. And you can see right now the invis from Chris Luck.
Yeah,
It's going to be a great setup. He's got no ult skilled, though.
There's a friend nearby as Ferrari. Who does he want to go on? There's your first attack, combining with the Avalanche. Neverend's already committed his own stun. Chris is still wondering if this is the time to finally pounce. It is time for Monkey to evaluate his role as king. Up into the air, jump down, get the hell out of there. Double TPs arriving from EHOME. He goes to the quick boundless strike, gets a stun to the back lines, and now skewer forward. RP committed over, but the Storm, Ferrari, he was so quick to zoom back out again with the RP on because they get close enough. And they got the connection. It's the fatal bonds that's hurting so much. Stinger, stop taking damage. He'll end up dying, but Faith Beyond jumped forward to ensure that Jericho went the whole way down.
They just didn't have the Wraith King there. Maybe it works out if so, but that's the danger of fighting into a Warlock. 3 points, Fatal Bonds, the Golem coming out, and you have RP stolen on XinQ. If they don't know that this is here.
He's in the trees. He can catch 3 guys in just 1 second. They all come in. There's the 2. Caught. Stinger's TP took a little bit longer, so the Avalanche will be able to do some work with the Fatal Bonds, connecting everyone together. The follow-up stun to XinQ will fall down. But the Wraith King burning his reincarnation. She's slowing Innocence and Faith Beyond's retreat. But Ferrari has returned back to the fight. Another slap, able to get the hit. While Jericho, I don't think that's exactly where he wanted to be, as the Vortex pulls him in. He can't be the saving grace. They just keep going, and Faith Beyond's got all the tankiness to do it. Still working with Innocence Golem, which will now time out. Underneath the tower, they can't even get the kill and the gold for it.
Just too aggressive. Again, it's the Rubik RP, it's the Fatal Bonds. If you're fighting into that much team fight, you're going to struggle. And keep in mind, there was a full Midas farmed up by Neverend as this went on. He's just been AFK ricing in this bottom lane. Still with that huge Ancient stack. I do believe they might give it to Faith Beyond here. Ravage will be up in a moment. And the downside of this Anvorgesa lineup, of course, is the lack of team fight. They need to be ahead and then just out-farm, out-fight, control this bottom triple camp of the Dire jungle, and if they stick on their side here, I just don't know if they're going to be able to contest the team fight of EHOME in an even game. When they're ahead, sure, their DPS is crazy, but I don't know if you want to be trading. There'll be a mech up on Mag soon. Whisper looking to help his teammates sustain here.
Yeah, he's trying to get K1 in range of that Radiance. At least cause some levels of problems for EHOME, but does that really hurt? It doesn't seem to hurt Ferrari. It won't hurt the Tidehunter.
Quad stack Ancients now, Sven moving forwards.
God, there's so much money. XinQ's even going to help him with the stuns, the Fade Bolts, any kind of bonus control. Mean that Neverend doesn't have to get completely ripped apart by the Ancients.
They did so efficiently. They didn't take damage, or at least as little as possible, and because of the Arcanes, they didn't really use any mana either. Just tons of space and farm for Neverend, and they stacked the hard camp, so just out-efficiencying Anvorgesa at the moment.
Jericho's been started up on.
I love
the Army of the Dead is here to fight.
I like how Faith Beyond's been playing this. Like, you, as Tide, you're naturally immobile, so just get up in the mouth of the enemy side. Make yourself a target. You've got Ravage to hold on to, even if you're
Is
alone.
the face not enough? It has to be in the mouth. I'm going to silence him.
Ideally.
Oh, Stinger. Well, that may reveal they have... well, he's saying there's an Observe Ward there, but there isn't.
Missed it. Look, he's just tanking the tower. He's got Vlads, he's got Phase Boots, 15 armor. You can't go, you can't do this. Do not toss back the Tide. Please, no.
They're very uncertain about it.
But keep in mind, this is what EHOME, they're just still in the side lanes, right? You've got Storm farming top, Sven farming bottom as 3 heroes. Ensure that 4 heroes of Anvorgesa stay mid. It's definitely favoring EHOME in these stagnant games this far. Wraith King is huge, however. With the Midas Rush, we'll be going Radiance next. It's a big pickup. Name of the game is just going to be killing these supports. If you're on Anvorgesa, you got to get the Warlock, EHOME. You kill Oracle, all of a sudden, anybody else is no save to rely upon. It becomes much easier to win fights.
And it's hard to get into those back lines right now. Monkey's too scared to move through the tree lines. The panel is saying there's so many tree cutters inside of EHOME's lineup. 4-3-0's ready. All he has to do is just zip through that tree and Monkey will hit the deck. So Chris got to be careful. The trees start to wiggle.
Oh,
One quick vortex. Jericho being pulled back in. There's more support rotating in. And Xingqiu looking for the bonus damage, but there's your Ravage. He's actually still on toss, but the rock will drop. The Fatal Bonds starts connecting them all up together. And this is when the follow-up damage starts to arrive. Whisper and Jericho, they want something. Chris, lucky to actually be on the tree. No, he drops down before the Wukong's command can finally come out. He can try again if he wants to, but never end running forward. He moves over towards Whisper, who fakes the RP twice. He can't get it out the whole way. Innocence is able to run away as this Warlock to fight yet another day away from all of the Wukong's command, but it's not stopping End or Faith Beyond from thinking they can battle against Chris because the Wukongs will run out. Finally, Warlock will die. And Stinger, they actually overstayed their welcome. They took so long to try and kill off this Monkey King that they'll end up losing this Ven, and they're pushing for more. Jericho, of all the heroes, has actually got a triple kill, and now they can actually kill off the Tidehunter. 5 heroes surround the melon, looking for the crack, the RP. They just need to hold him there, and they've got him down. EHOME lose the whole kit and caboodle, giving Jericho an ultra kill on the Oracle.
Way too aggressive, Toby. I get that you want to kill the Monkey King, but it's just a Sven. His ult was fading, and you have a Tidehunter that had already gushed. You're not going to find that kill reliably, and the RP still active. Do remember that there were 2 buybacks used on the Mag and the Tiny. That is most of the reason EHOME get wiped there. They do, however, clear the tower. They got 2 bounty runes on the bottom side of the map. Both tops still there, a minute and 30 after spawning. And there's the Radiance, though. They took that fight without it.
Yep, and it actually got sped up. Not as much as you probably would have thought, because most of the kills actually went to Oracle. So I'm wondering what he's going to put his money into. And it's going to be a Glimmercape by the looks of it.
And this is the Anvorgesa special, right? They're happy with this. They've got Wraith King. He's 2k ahead of the game. Sure, Sven is close, but I'm really not a fan of the Sanjin Yasha build, I'll be honest. I think that the Echo Saber is just more efficient, and it's going to slow down his BKB timing. And pre-BKB, it's going to be very difficult for Neverend to get into these engagements.
Yeah. He basically just stood that last one on the ground, like next to Ty's like, okay, well, what do we do here? Well, we look.
Yep.
Can't move forward.
It's just tough to engage. And Ferrari, with the Bloodstone Rush, actually skipping the Kaya. Not something you see very often. Means his farming speed has been hurt, and that's why you see him at just 6k net worth. Never a spot you want to see Storm. You like it, top 3, I'm feeling good, but when you're in 5th place, significantly below your offlane Tide, just does not feel good.
That's a really nice pickup now from EHOME. So a Blink Dagger on their Rubik. We've seen him already be able to grab some key abilities, but if you're able to steal RP, then it can actually be effectively used, as opposed to, I don't know if I can hit my target.
Yeah, but this is where the draft of Anvorgesa gets spooky, because you have an empowered Wraith King. 74%. You get Sven Cleave with a bonus 40% damage.
Really?
No, it was really not necessary, Toby, but they do find the kill. Another single target Ravage utilized by Faith Beyond.
Just God Strength and Ravage being burned.
God Strength is fine. The Ravage is rough, because now you could theoretically make a play for
look at him
Roche.
scan.
And look, it's
EHOME scan it straight away.
On it, right? You know, like, oh, we overutilized the spell here. Let's make sure they don't go get an objective based on our mistake. You still have the Golem. You still have Fatal Bonds. And God forbid it hits Roshan, Toby. We know what happens then.
Well, that's a nice rune to pick up from Whisper. An Invis rune, considering he doesn't have an easy way to initiate. They're going to start this off, looking for Innocence in the back lines. If you can actually get both Xingqiu as well as Innocence, that's the bigger one. But careful of coming in range of the Sentry Wars. They're both being planted down now. They have to get rid of it. Whisper is very much like, oh, I still want to use
hit
this.
Hit it. No.
No, I want to save my Invis rune.
Well, we got to be careful on the Sven here. There's a lot of trouble. And
oh, he's coming underneath the Observer Ward. He didn't realize the ward was so defensive. So they're all just wrapping around the back of him, and he's in no man's land. It's like, oh, all right, if you want to come for me, I'll farm up the creep wave. But they're actually denying the creep, so we can't even get the money.
But Jericho takes the kill again. Of all the heroes that don't need the money right now.
Stop nuking it, Jericho. Stop nuking it. Yep. This is greedier than Yapsor.
They saw the smoke for sure. EHOME's going to immediately retreat. And this is a bit, just lack of discipline here. If they had waited half a second. I love this rotation, but EHOME will certainly know that it's coming. And it's tough because you've got a buyback. No buyback on Sven. He actually spent his gold beforehand. So Roach could be your target. And then counter smoke. Just follow the Faith Beyond Tide. Or are they going to go to the other side of the jungle? They might not.
They are. They have no Ravage for 48 seconds. They may not feel confident enough. Again, you see, like, Rock and Bonds are there, but they're nowhere near it. They're like, this will be Roshan.
This reminds me of that first complexity game against Mineski yesterday where they got a Roche and then they just beeline to the enemy side of the map. You find a kill, an advantageous fight. Because you have so much structure damage thanks to the Empower buff, Wraith King, you're going to crush the buildings. You just need one now. It's just finding it that's the question.
Did EHOME not think they would be confident enough to go back for Roshan?
Maybe they just didn't want to contest it. I'm not surprised necessarily since you didn't have the Ravage.
Oh,
you
here
know
we go again. Stun.
Ult.
Innocence gets kit. He came in for the D-wall. They knew where the Observer was.
He got it.
He did get it. He did definitely get it. He just didn't get out with it. And there's two sentry walls they've actually committed, and they smoked underneath the diorite.
Yeah, just again another smoke. It's one of those smokes where it's like, hey, let's do something, guys, and it's just not an organic movement. It's going to be sniffed out by EHOME. Won't be able to do much with it. Do they have wards? No wards even to place.
The blink also on the Magnus. If EHOME was looking for it, it would have been revealed.
Yeah.
Because he TP'd onto the shrine where that Observer ward is, so it's paid off mass dividends for EHOME.
Yeah, and there's a Bloodstone up on Storm. This next fight for Anvorgesa is huge. It's going to be a 5-on-5, and even with Aegis, you can't. Do not dive into Blink Ravage. Do not give Storm these Bloodstone charges. And Sven, of all the targets, 2,500 HP, pre-God strength. Don't go for him, boys.
Sting is here. He's the only one that's offering himself up at the moment. This is in the trees. There's a jump forward, throwing him back into the Oracle, but the Stormbolt already came out. Chris, he got off the tree just in time. The Rock will drop in front of Bonds, and now with a slap down, the Ravage will connect. Everyone's hit. The Hamburger is currently being thrown on the floor, and even RP has been stolen by the Rubik. He's waiting for the right time to fight, but they're inside the Wukong's command. This is looking pretty damn good. Storm was almost dead. Ferrari so low. Have you got a boundless hit? Chris is looking for it. If he can hit Ferrari, no, Ferrari's managed to heal up enough. You're in too deep. And there's your RP. Xingqiu holds them in with the Stormbolt. End's got all the damage in the world for this. And maybe Jericho will finally die. The spree for 503 gold is taken. While Reincarnation will bring K1 back to life. I don't think he really wants to be here. Tiny has to do something to help out his teammate. The Avalanche toss. It's over on Ferrari with a slap down. No, it missed! It didn't hit on Ferrari! It's a double kill for Ferrari. Chris will begin his TP away to safety. He'll be successful. But my God, they could have had the kill on Storm 3 separate occasions. It never happened, and EHOME will hold strong with a buyback, and Sven being the cost.
Remember, buybacks used. Look at the net worth. Wraith King still solely in the lead. That fight was near perfect for EHOME when you consider like 3-man Golem, 4-man Fatal Bonds, the Ravage on everyone. But there's just so much damage threat from Anvorgesa. They had the BKB on the Monkey King. You have a Wraith King with the ultimate active. You're so strong. You can see they're shredding whoever's in range. It's just that they went too far. They smelled blood. They're diving past the tier 3. Excellent setup by Xingqiu with the Rubik, though, because they time it. He hesitates for that 2 seconds, gets the RP as the Sven's TPing in to be able to follow up stun. And more. Look at the Bloodstone. All of a sudden, 19 charges for Ferrari and an Arcane Rune. That's what scares me. The Anvorgesa lineup is like all in on these 2 cores. Storm will have that reach advantage to find one of them.
Yeah.
If they're not careful.
God, it still shows they have the damage. This is a lot closer than we were probably thinking it was going to be. Game 1, we thought it could be potentially heartbreaking for them, but Anvorgesa, they hold strong. They group up. They've still got a lot of different things that allow them to just stand in this fight. But they need to have like the RP being the proper aggressor.
Yep. It was a bit delayed.
End up getting the kill from the start of that. But how do you do that? The Monkey King takes a while to rack up that high point of damage, so it just has to come from the Wraith King hit?
Yeah, I mean, look how hard he's hitting with the power. It's 300 damage pre-crits.
Okay, yeah, maybe he's okay then.
And I think you could look to keep going. I feel like if you swap roles here, EHOME's going to at least force the rest of the squad back to base. But it's tough because you know Ravage is up, and it's the same when you're playing against Disruptor. Storm gives you that similar threat of, I can jump you from afar. If you split up, TP too soon on some hero, you're going to get punished in the area of the map you just left. But I like this decision. Just camp the EHOME side of the map, steal their Ancients, and ward offensively. You've already cleared bottom tower. You can get mid next. Just got to be careful.
They're getting a lot of information across the map, so yeah, if EHOME does come out,
Yep. You want to start with the toss back. If you can do that, it's a great positioning for you because you force EHOME to use their spells further forwards than they would like. EHOME wants to like kind of drag you into the Thunderdome and drop the Fatals and all AoE.
Can you actually like toss back to the Wraith King instead of the Oracle?
Yeah, that would work. That would be nice.
That might be a little bit nicer because at least you can hit the Wraith Fire Blast mid-transit and you get hit on the way down.
Yeah, and you force EHOME to use their spells right away at the start of the fight. Ravage and Golem are best used like as the fight has already developed, and now it's the way you set up your kills. That ward saw the smoke. They should know this is coming. Line was drawn. Radiant even scanning it out.
Yeah, they want to see the direction they're coming. That's why Monkey moves to the trees and far, far away. And wow, well, they're coming for the 25-minute bounty runes, but they'll only get 2 of them.
Yep. It's a typical EHOME move. I think that you should expect this from now on as Anvorgesa. I believe in both games they've smoked on over half the bounty runes, just to ensure they get the 2. They recognize the importance. Still a completely even game. However, the Wraith King's damage output is insane. The turning point is going to be like this AC. That's where I feel like the peak timing for Anvorgesa is. The Roche spawn will be around that moment as well. But as this game continues, you look at the cores, EHOME will have a lot more power. The Rubik is far more valuable than either of the enemy supports because you can steal that RP.
Yep.
You can steal the...
And you can see the way he's playing it. It's 4 staff into Aghanim Scepter. First you need the position, then you're able to get that quick steal with the upgrades.
Another smoke used.
Yep.
All ults ready.
EHOME's looking for a fight, and this isn't exactly when Anvorgesa want to look for a fight. They haven't got the Maelstrom out in the Monkey King. It's coming on the Courier at the moment, but they'll have no other choice to go in for it. The control, it's over on Magnus. Faith Beyond, stunned up by the never-ending avalanche. The rock will connect over on 2, and they're pulling forward. The Ravage, he actually threw in the Tidehunter to get the perfect Ravage position. And even Empower is then stolen by the Rubik.
It's all right, the only 2. That was way better than it could have been there.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. That toss back on Tide is just that moment was like, no!
Yeah, it looks spooky, but Ferrari used a ton of mana in the initial jump, so he wasn't able to pursue. He doesn't want to get himself out of mana because that damage threat. If you find yourself in melee range of a Wraith King, you see him critting that catapult for 975, like, you will just die. Got to be very cautious.
So now they can have their items.
AC
so
will be out soon.
Max got his mech, Monkey's got his Maelstrom. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, but just playing around the Wraith King, that's the key. You've got no ults on EHOME.
Well, they see Ferrari. They don't have control.
Yeah, it's tough. You don't want to go for Faith Beyond ever. Not with the way he's itemized.
He knows it too. I'll sit underneath my tier 2 tower. They're probably all around me, but I won't care. The jump comes in. Chris is going to go for it anyway. They got the stuns, the control, the 4-buff already. The RP just looking to keep the control there. Faith Beyond, they all want to retreat. They want to get themselves out of this one. There's a Wraith Fire Blast on, connected into the Wraith King. Pick him up, throw him back in again, but Wraith King is fine.
Sven's still just been farming. Took a tower in the meantime. And as the clock ticks...
Oh, Stormy's jumping up. Ooh, Chris, he jumps down just in time, trying to bait Ferrari to jump in a little bit deeper. They find a better target. It's going to be the Warlock with the Shockwave. They get the kill. Whisper is the one to do it.
So you got to do it. Keep going aggressive with K1. Let him be the one that tanks the spells.
Come at me, bro. Come at me. Morpheus in the ring. Well,
buy back.
Here's your toss in. Warlock with that buyback. You can at least rend LeBron, but here comes the Wukong's command right underneath the tower. They can kill off the Warlock. That's a dieback from him, but they still want to fight inside the Wukong's, but EHOME is not allowing it. Everend, he's on the run up towards Stinger, but these stuns, these controls, they last forever now. The BKB is worn off, even with the Boundless Strike. They get the control, 105 seconds down without the spend. They don't have a control factor. Ferrari's low on mana. What if he managed to steal Skewer? Yep, that's going to be it, but they're coming high ground. They're coming for all your burgers, EHOME. And they'll start with the mid.
King's hitting so hard. And you can't kill him. You can see, like, they're just... If you try and dive past the team, K1 just starts smacking people.
They're in. Faith Beyond's there. Ferrari's looking for the back lines to initiate over to. Faith Beyond's just fully controlled. Zinky wants to help out. The Avalanche connecting on 3, killing up the Tidehunter. Buyback is available. They're going to lose this mid lane of Rax. But how much more can Anvorgesa take from them? There's still 71 seconds before Sven is alive. They're going for the bottom lane. They have reincarnation. Why not?
Yeah, and Ferrari does no damage. It's the problem with Storm, especially when you start this game so slowly. Yeah, you got 21 Bloodstone charges, but he's just zipping around. He's a distraction, not a damage output.
But if he gets hit by that avalanche, he is toast.
Yep.
So much is on the line here.
They've got
Keep
Ravage.
in mind, this is an elimination game. Anvorgesa is fighting to keep themselves alive. And they're fighting hard. They've taken 2 lanes of melee racks. And EHOME are backed into a corner. But Anvorgesa, you know they're not going to stop here.
Yeah, it's damage.
They still want to fight.
It's all about the damage. And right now, EHOME, you've got to line up focused around damage reduction, around reach, mobility. But
Oh, look at the
Anvorgesa
cross.
just hitting you in the face.
The swing up. Storm's coming out. Faith Beyond as well. Careful. They want
They're
the
going.
Warlock. They see the Warlock.
No
He's in
buyback.
the back lines. Innocence. He needs to die. Faith Beyond's going to create some space with the Ravage connecting of all 5 heroes.
Oh
and the
my
Rock.
God, the
and the
Fatal
Fatal Bonds. This is when it turns around. Innocence can die, but he's already committed everything he needs to. Stinger's TP out is successful. He had nothing. But he's still able to survive. And Anvorgesa not only going to get out, but they're going to kill Faith Beyond outside the base. They're actually going to do it. The false promise keeps Jericho alive away from Innocence's Rock. They're actually going to live through this.
They do way too much damage, Toby. It doesn't matter. EHOME hits the dream combination. Ult, Rock, Fatal Bonds, 4 targets. It does not do anything. They do not kill anyone. It was just the Tiny who was at a threat of going down. And man,
He got out. He TP'd hard.
it's just no damage. Never end. This builds. I'm just not a fan. Sanj and Yasha blink after BKB. There's no true damage item on the Sven, and it's 30 minutes into the game. You can't kill anyone.
Man, I think you said it perfectly. Ferrari zipping around and able to have any influence, all the mana in the world, but nothing he can do. He's trying to build a BKB, so this continuous stun from Stinger, the Raid Fire Blast, all these control factors, like, but I don't know if that's enough. If the RP connects on him, he's dead.
And you're at a point now in the Oracle, like Jericho, with 8 kills, he's got Force and Glimmer. Even if you manage to find him, you're not going to be able to take him down by yourself. Like, the damage output just is not there. And if you even look at the way that he talented, right? A lot of times you see Storms go the right side of this tree, overload damage, remnant damage, increased stun time. Instead, he went for the health and mana regen. It's been a game that Ferrari's been playing for 40, 45 minutes, that 4th, 5th item, but he's not going to get there at this rate because Anvorgesa, they're just heading straight for the base.
Yep. They want that top lane. That graft has shifted massively up. EHOME had the experience lead. 84% chance of victory. That looks about right. But EHOME, don't count him out. Ferrari zipping in, but he'll be okay.
But cool. Cool, guys.
He's got to go again. The creep wave's still there. Fadebot will slow things down.
Fatal Bond's
I
used.
like how we go picture in picture to watch when Ferrari's going to jump because he's sitting on the back lines. They're baiting with the illusion. They are beating the illusion, but they caught Faith Beyond as well. Remember, there's no Ravage available. They're trying to beat through him inside the Wukong command. Jesus, indeed.
Yeah,
no resurrection for him. There isn't a buyback available. Ferrari can now ball lightning away a little bit further, but Wraith King,
so
he's
much
going
damage.
in. He wants to kill over on Instance. There's still no rock, but the solid RP, it could do some work. But then again, have they got enough? Never end. He's doing a decent job, but not against K1. Ferrari's still wondering what he's got. Whisper consumes the cheese, so he's back to form the Avalanche, pulling it back in with the Shockwave. It's like watching a back combination. It's perfect, and it's GG. The Hamburger will raid your pantry. They will force a Game 3, a deciding game to see who will advance forward into the Final Four, the playoffs, where 2 teams will go to the Major. And the winner of this series plays up against NIP. That was a lot better.
You can see everyone else is a lot better at these reactions. They won a game in the previous day, sure, but they were way more excited. They recognize now it's still business time. We need one more game. Love the drafting concept. Simple, but very effective. You have a Mag, you have a Monkey King, you have a Wraith King. We're going to do way more damage than the enemy side. We're going to be able to not just find kills, but accelerate and clear objectives. They took one big fight, and from there on out, EHOME were against the ropes. They never let up. Question a bit maybe the itemization of EHOME, but they just didn't have damage. They didn't do any damage. And I'm looking at the numbers. When Tidehunter does the most hero damage on your team, you know you've got problems.
Yeah, but Faith Beyond was always that front liner, and you realize it early on that the damage problems were actually for Anvorgesa. Like, what were they going to do? And then you take Roshan. Like, that whole battle around Roshan is where we started to see a little bit more of the swing of what was to come. It didn't show on the graphs until later on. But getting that Aegis the Immortal.
It starts with a support dying for the Ravage, right? Or was it the Golem? Either way, too many spells, right? They just walk straight into the pit. Eventually, they get it for free. Once the BKBs come up, Faith Beyond, he wants to run in the front lines, but they're just hitting him. And they're empowered. And he's dead, and that's it.
It's when Monkey works, right? Like, it's like, maybe the lanes weren't perfect, but they still made it work. They were aggressive. They were their style, and I cannot wait for Game 3, the decider for our final game of the night.
something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
You